Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. We are currently towing a buddy's 2006, 2007 Ford F-250 6.0 powerstroke back to him about 300 miles away. It's the first towing stretch with the new Tremor. We're not too far out of town, maybe only 25 miles or so. We're fighting a pretty good crosswind, but other than that, for having a 7,500 pound truck on a 4,000 or 5,000 pound tilt deck bumper pull trailer with a lot of tongue weight, it's doing pretty good. We're getting, it's saying we're getting 10.5 average miles per gallon, but I don't 100% believe that because it's probably real, but it's probably getting a little bit better. Plus, with the head or the crosswind, it doesn't help it at all either. 200 and some miles left to go, and this is going to kind of give us a chance to see how this thing does. It's definitely different coming from owning a dually for the last 5 years with all the tires and width for towing. It was completely different than a short bed single wheel, but so far it's great. I would can't wait to try with a gooseneck. Once I get the hitch, we're going to put a hitch in this weekend too, actually. I'm actually doing a separate video showing partial install on the gooseneck hitch and the leveling kit. But yeah, once I get a hitch in it, I'll go do some stuff with the gooseneck and see how it does. Here's something interesting. If you see here on this screen and look at the transmission temperature gauge, it's right in the middle, just kind of how all the other gauges are, which I'm assuming would mean nominal. But then when you scroll down to the actual temp, it says it's running at 207, which to me seems high, but it's pretty much been there for the duration of my, from owning it. Most Rams, I think my last one sat at 168 all the time, and then it later went to 172 when I re-geared it. But just something interesting, being that Ford might like him a little bit warmer. So, I'm trying to get some footage of using the truck and towing and everything, but it's pretty windy and the sun is setting in the west, and I'm happen to be heading west. So there's just this big glare in my face the whole time, which doesn't come off very photogenic when you're trying to film yourself talk, but I just filled up in Three Forks and did the math, and it calculated out to 10.5 miles per gallon, which included some in-town driving this week. But this thing, at the expense of using a lot of fuel, it's got tons of power. If you just kind of tell it to go a direction at a certain speed, it will. Not a single temp gauge moves upward. It does like downshift from 10th into 9th. The only time it's downshift past 9th was going down at grade with the exhaust brake on, trying to maintain its speed. And I also was kind of playing around with downshifting it into like 9th and 8th to see where the torque and the mileage kind of leveled out at. But 10th is kind of doing the job by itself. Probably just because we don't weigh enough for the engine to really care. But yeah, so far it's pretty impressive for being a 3/4 ton short bed. There's quite a bit of sway, more that I'm just used to, just because, like I said, I've been driving dualies for so long. But I think it has a lot to do with the actual wind. This whole drive is notorious for being windy through all the mountains. But other than that, I think the tongue weight might be a little bit of a factor, because we had to, the trailer we're using, the deck is really goofy, and we had to get the truck as far forward as we could, and it just kind of put a lot of weight on it. But outside of that, I mean, like a gooseneck, I think it's going to be fine. Distributes it a little bit better, but pretty impressed with it so far. We're currently going up Homestake Pass. Was stuck behind the semi doing 45. I'm locked out in 7th gear. I just kind of got back into the throttle, and we're now doing 65 like nothing. Just kind of blew up the pass. It's pretty winding. There's a lot of congestion at the beginning of it. I was going to try to do a go from 60 up to the speed limit, but I wasn't able to. So now I'm just kind of giving it its normal workout up this pass. But I figured I'd film the pass too, because it's kind of neat looking right now with all the snow in it. Usually it's dry and there's just cars everywhere doing a billion miles an hour past you. But yeah, it's the Homestake Pass between Butte and the rest of Montana, kind of the western cut across. This is where the Continental Divide is as well, which stems from Canada down to like Mexico, and it probably goes further technically wherever the continent is. That's just the parts that pertain to me, because that's where I live mostly. But yeah, just kind of getting into the throttle again, you know, just buzzing up the hill. Pretty smooth, pretty quiet. You can hear the turbo kind of kick in and start building boost, and you just start moving. But like I said, the only downside to accelerating up a hill is the amount of fuel you're using. So outside of that, it's pretty cool how it just kind of takes off. I mean, again, I'm not loaded at its max weight either. I'm probably only, I'm sure the max payload is somewhere around 11,000, maybe 12. And then the truck itself is 77, I believe. So total weight just under 20,000, which is nothing for this thing. So yeah, there's some more scenery. Rocks with snow, trees with snow, Montana with snow. Coming up on the Continental Divide sign and overpass. We'll see if we can see it. It's right here. 6,393 feet. That's where we're currently at, and the Tremor doesn't care. It just builds boost and moves. Get ready to be blinded. Yep. So here's low beam and high beam. Quite a bit difference with these LED headlights. So we're driving back to the house, and yeah, we're just kind of cruising through a lot of wooded, mountainous areas between. I guess we would have been through like the corner of Montana and Idaho, where Sula is, on our way back to Butte. We're kind of taking a different route that's a little bit more scenic and kind of cool this time of the year. There's snow everywhere, and the temperature drops 20 degrees every couple miles and goes back up and down. But yeah, we got the 1.5-inch Ready Lift leveling kit installed. We got the B&W gooseneck hitch installed. We did an alignment on the steering wheel, got it straight again. And yeah, we're pulling our bumper pull trailer home empty, which is fine. I mean, I'm getting almost 16 miles per gallon right now, you know, and I'm up and down hills and going between race mode and eco mode and all that, and really kind of just keeping it in where I would normally keep it if I was to drive like this. But yeah, it's holding up great, getting pretty good mileage. Weather's been good, kind of scouting out some area to come back and explore in. But yeah, I can't wait to throw a set of tires on this thing and fill out the wheel wells.